This is Natalie of the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche bringing you another video. What a great video the last one was. We went to the cross stitch cupboard and I showed a mere, fraction of what's there. You've never seen a store so stuffed with everything. And I'll be back again as things move into fall and as things move into Christmas, and they still have my sampler, my big sampler, BG 1874, which has not come back from the framer. Apparently with COVID was a backlog, so still waiting on that. It'll give me an excuse to go back. So what a fun time. And the owner, Karen, is just a lovely lady. What's even better is that some people did call and order things off my video, and I'm very pleased about that because Karen was going through a hard time due to COVID restrictions. For months the store was closed, and now it's still restricted. You can only have so many people in the store at once. She can't have any stitching get-togethers or classes or retreats or anything. So to keep our local needlework shops in business, I think, is every stitcher's responsibility, in my opinion, that is. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. Today we're going to have a lot of fun, and I had a ton of stuff to show you. And that's why I decided to make this video today. It's Sunday, probably won't go up till Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. What do I have to show you? I always start with whips. I have a new whip. Pumpkin Pie by the Primitive Hare. First I'll show you the chart, and this was on my last video. This fabric, I believe, is called something Autumn by the Primitive Hare. It says the fabric is the bowlin linen. It says that on the chart, and that's not the bowlin linen. The bowlin linen has writing on it. So I think this is something else, but I had to make my own linen for this. So I did make my own linen. Now, of course, I have this rolled up. Let me see if I can unroll it to show you more. I don't feel like taking it off. And I made this linen. In fact, I made extra and I sold some. Isn't it great? This linen I called candy corn. But I was very pleased with it, and I think this is going to look awesome when it's done. I was thinking what to do with it. I actually pulled just random fabric to see what would be interesting to put behind it. Both of these are too bright. I was thinking of putting this on a piece of board and then putting fabric behind it and then mounting it. I started it awfully close to the edge. For whatever reason, I thought this was wider than it was, and I sort of don't know what I was thinking, but I do have, let's measure this. I have about an inch and a half, which isn't very much, but it's enough to, I think it's barely enough to frame it if I wanted to, or even yet, I could make it into something that goes on one of the boards and have a board made for it, which might be interesting because I can make the board in an orangey color or maybe pull out that color or that color. But I like the way it's coming out. It's almost done. It doesn't take long. The colors I'm using are, one of them is awesome. It's by Threadworks. It's called Pumpkin Spice. Isn't that a pretty color? And then I have Dark Chocolate by Gentle Arts. The green, which I might be pulling out, by the way. I'm not 100% about that green. There's only a little area of it is collared so far. And then the black is Raven, which is one of my favorite blacks. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got green in it. But it looks black on the fabric, but it's got this green tint to it. And then, of course, Mulberry, which I ran out of. So the rest of the mulberry I need is right there. It's just a little area. In retrospect, maybe I should have done that pumpkin. I don't know. Switch the colors. I'm not sure, but I either can just pick a color that's close and put it in here, and so be it. And I don't think anybody would even notice because some brown goes under there. I think it would blend in. Or what I'm doing is I ordered another skein of mulberry, and hopefully it's the same sort of dye lot, and we'll figure that out. So that's one. My second, and I've showed you these beautiful silks before, is of course Emma Miles. See if I can show you the chart. Chart's inside out right now. Here we go. Emma Miles. And so far this is what I've done. I've done this part of the border. As you can see, there's that all those leaves are filled with satin stitch, and I posted something online about how to do satin stitch better, and I got a lot of really good suggestions. So I think my satin stitch looks pretty good right now. This fabric is going to be called Emma Miles. I made it. I did write down how I made it, so I think it looks fab. I think once I get going on this, it's going to go relatively quickly, I hope. My plan is to finish pumpkin pie and then restart this, or if I don't get the mulberry in time, I'll just restart this. I have one more whip to show you, only because somebody commented on this chart. The little pilgrims. Forgive me my destruction of this chart. I don't know what I was thinking. But this is the name of the chart for the stand-up pilgrims. And as you can see, it's got stand-up Native Americans and a stand-up turkey. Cool, huh? And I remember this, I have this as a whip. This was done on Tula. No, not Tula. This was done on Clostern. At the time, I bought this at the Cross Stitch Cupboard. She didn't have Clostern, so I bought this. I have no idea what it is, but I've done a few of them. Here's my Pilgrim Boy. He's a little wrinkly, but he's done. And I'm not going to make these into stand-ups. I want them to look perfect, so I'm going to give them to somebody to do. So I've got the Pilgrim Boy done. And did I start any of the others? No. I've got a ton of DMC in here. I bought, you have to buy different DMC for each one. But I am going to finish this year. I've had this like 2 or 3 years and I just put it down. I don't know why. But I have enough fabric and floss of the same fabric. I don't know what this fabric is to make all these figurines. And I think I'm working with 3 or 4 strands. No, I'm working with 5 strands. So just to get, and that's not even full coverage, I'm working with 5 strands. So I'm working with the DMC as is. 5 or 6 strands, whatever it is. let's see. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, no, 6. 6 strands. So I think that's coming out pretty cool. It's a big package of stuff because you have to have a lot of floss for this. And I'm using DMC. Would not use expensive floss for this, and it's going to come out fabulous when it's done. Next, I'm going to show you an antique find that I found at a thrift store. I'm trying to get it so that you don't see so much of the glass. Isn't that beautiful? It says on the back, made about 1927 to 1931 by Minette Bernhard. I looked up Minette Bernhard, and there was only one I can find in that age group. And apparently she lived in, I think, Hempstead, New York, which is very close to where I grew up. So I thought that was cool that this made it to Florida. The sad thing, it's probably was in somebody's house, and they must have passed away and a family member just gave this away. Isn't it pretty? I'm not sure about this. You know, I'm looking at this, and was this repainted? I don't know, but I think it looks really cool. This needs to be remounted somehow. As you can see, it's got like... So what I'm going to do is remount it and put it up somewhere. It's a beautiful tapestry. I could sell it to somebody that collects these things. I mean, it's done in wool. It's like a crewel, actually. And very well done. Just really, I mean, look at the flowers, if you can see them. Aren't they gorgeous? So, I'll probably keep it. But it needs to be remounted. I mean, if you look at the frame, it looks like they cut it out with child scissors. Somebody did not put this in a frame very well. So I have to take it to a framer. And this I had framed at Hobby Lobby. I found this piece. It is painting on copper. And there's something about it that I loved. These are collectible. I found it at a thrift store. Paid very little for it. Paid a lot more to have it framed, but I think it looks awesome. So this is going to go in my wall somewhere. And there was just something about it, something about the fall colors. It's so beautifully done. I mean, this is a real piece of art. Sometimes you can find amazing things, you just have to look. Haven't been going to thrift stores that much because of COVID, so... Now, try to go from thing to thing. I'm going to show you just some of the fabric that I made. This is the stuff I didn't sell. I already showed you the candy corn. This fabric is called Coffee with Milk. Perfect for samplers, perfect for prim. Isn't it pretty? So I have a few pieces of it. Got to cut these strings off. That happens when I make it. This one's called Jumping Jack. It's actually a little bit different. A little bit different from what I have. Just a different technique. Similar colors to candy corn, but it's not quite the same. I have that little piece. Starting to save at least little pieces of what I do, and I'm writing down the technique. This one is called Gingerbread Girl. I made a bunch of it and sold it all. Isn't it pretty? This reminds me very much of Carved Pumpkin by R&R. In fact, it's basically the same color. Just a little piece. And this, of course, is Old Book. Old Book. not quite as much grunginess to it. It's a little more uniform, but it's still got a lot of, you know, coloration in it. So I wanted to show you those. One more find I wanted to show you was this, also from the same thrift store. Is I got all of these labels. And these are great, ooh, drop one, great little labels with a hole in them that I'm now going to use for labeling my fabric. How cool is that? It's already ready made. And I got a whole bunch of them in different patterns, and who cares if it's Christmas? So I got that. And at the cross stitch cupboard, I did get a scissor fob, the Ouija board, with a little, I was using this as a needle minder. Isn't that cool? So I bought that. Oh, stash. Well, this is not good. I know. Some of this stash is just fabric, and some of the fabric I bought it because it was a very good deal or it was appropriate to dye, so I brought some of that. And somebody had a lot, and in the lot of items there was a lot of fabric and charts, so I got charts also. So we'll go through this. First, I do want to show you the Dying to Stitch Quaint Country Ladies latest kit called Gather by Pineberry Lane. Isn't that pretty? That's really nice. And what I love, just love about these kits is that they come with fabric, backing, floss, everything you need to make this. And this is really good to go on a trip with too, even going away for the weekend, because it's small. I mean, stitch count is, oh, it says on this is 36 count old mill Java, and it's a 10 by 10 inch piece, and it says that the allows 2.5 inches for linen, so it's about 7 by 7, so it's about that big. It's not very, like an ornament size. My only issue with this is that there's numbers here for floss, and they correlate to what's on here. My thing is, why not just write it in? I think she doesn't write it in so that she can reuse the numbers, these number tags, and not have to redo it every time, which I don't blame her. But I have to end up writing them in with a pen. Not a big deal. But, so you can't lose the piece of paper that came with it. So I wanted to show you that. This I didn't buy, it came in the mail. So. From the cross stitch cupboard, a beautiful piece of 32 count Lakeside copper. She had copper. I could have gotten more, but I didn't want to be a pig about it. And isn't that beautiful? Karen got a hold of some of this. It is so hard to find. It is a gorgeous color. Lakeside copper. How could I walk away from that? And she's like, do you want a piece? Yeah. Okay. Then I did manage to buy this on eBay. It wasn't very expensive. It is 30 count Spellbound. This is old R&R. Love the color. It's very stiff linen, which means it's easy to stitch on. And it's got so much movement to it. Very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. From the cross stitch cupboard, I got some more of this Threadworks floss. for I don't know what, but I did pick these up. This is there a name on here? It just got 1085. It doesn't really have a name. I don't know. But I got that. A variegated Christmas floss, so I'm sure I can find use for that. And then this is neon green, which I thought is beautiful for Halloween. This floss, you get 5 yards. It was $2.50, and I like the colors better than than anything else. I love these colors. I'd buy more of these. And the sheen is beautiful. Like, I really like it. It almost looks like silk. Also from the cross-stitch cupboard, could not resist. And I bought this, this says from Stitchy Box and Ink Circles, Black Eyed Susan. Love it. Absolutely love it. Love the eyeballs, love everything about it. And I was lucky because she had all the colors. I bought all the beautiful colors of floss. Try to so you can see them all. And a piece of Bewitched by, this is by 28 count Bewitched by Stephanie. I only bought 28 count because that's what she had, and I really love this color. So let's hold the floss up against it. It's going to be great. So cool. This is on my urgent list of things to do. It's a quickie. Stitch count is, our cover models were stitched on 28 count Kirschner linen from Painted Threads. Oh wow. And Serenity Gray from Fabric Flare. Oh, I didn't get all the ones that were on here. One of them, everything was Classic Colorworks, which I did get, except for one which said House of Embroidery Cotton. I never heard of House of Embroidery Cotton. I'm like, they stuck that in there. So I just got, it was maple, and what did I get from maple? I think I got something that reminded me of maple. I think I got roasted chestnut instead. So, what is the stitch count on this? Doesn't say. Oh, you gotta count it yourself. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. About 55 by 55. So, probably can fit, make 2 of them on here if I wanted to. Or, there's a front and a back. I have enough for a back. If I wanted to use it for backing, or probably I'll just use the another piece for something else. But I got that from the cross-stitch cupboard. What else did I get from the cross-stitch cupboard? I got, well, St. Lucy's Day I had already bought. And I'd already purchased this. St. Lucy's Day. And I think it's all in DMC. Yeah, it's all in DMC. So what I did was I did a conversion, and what I do is I pull the DMC and then go over to the variegated overdyed floss section, and I pick some out, and I got beautiful colors for St. Lucy's Day. And fabric, well, I'm not sure what fabric I'm going to do this on. Actually, too orange. I think a piece of any of this fabric would work. Anything. I'm not sure yet. So this will need fabric, but I love it. My stash is getting too big, so I'm going to have to de-stash soon. Probably sell it, and of course I do giveaways with my own stash. So this has to stay out because I have to get fabric for it. Got this little kit called Pumpkin Pumpkin by Kelmscott. Wasn't very expensive, and The reason I got it is I love that it came with this little mounting piece. I thought that was pretty cool. And I did buy a small piece of linen, pumpkin. This is Weeks pumpkin linen. Just because I thought the color is so perfect for this. And then it's done in black, and I think Raven will be the color I'll do this in. This is also priority because it's so small. Can probably make this in one evening. Okay. I think that's it from the cupboard. Oh, now these charts. I don't know what I was thinking with these charts. First, the charts that did not come in the lot. All right, so this is Spirit of Christmas by Lila's Studio. I had highlighted Lila's Studio as the designer of the day, so to speak, on the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche page. And so I went ahead and bought this because I really liked it. That goes into my chart pile. Same thing happened with the Pin Keep. The Pin Keep, somebody, I made them designer of the day, and somebody had finished the Pledge of Allegiance. I liked it so much, so much, that I bought this chart. And then a very lovely person on the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche page that saw somebody selling, I think somebody was selling this chart, or no, somebody posted a finish, and I said something like, wow, I've been looking for that chart, lucky, I haven't been able to find it. She sent this to me as a gift. That was like the nicest thing ever. I'm going to have to send her a thank you card and probably a treat with it, but I love it. I just ordered all the MPI for this. I'm going to do it in MPI. This is done in black linen. I might try my hand at black linen again. I had a lot of issues seeing to do it, but I think I'm going to try it again. This is just so beautiful. Probably could be done on a gray linen. I love the black though. So those are charts. Should I show you the linen? Okay. Just trying to show this to you in some sort of order. All right. This is the pile that I got from in that lot with the fabric, and the fabric was all plain fabric. Somebody sold this. This is 35 count Weeks Dye Works. It's an entire yard of it. I got it for a bargain price, so I could not resist. Angel Hare by Weeks Dye Works. Very pretty color. Very neutral, very pretty, perfect for any nice formal sampler that you don't want antiquing for. What's to say? It's just a beautiful linen. So, and I ordered this one. I ordered separately as well from Hindsight. I had my eye on this chart and I saw somebody finish it, so I ordered that chart. GGR chart. I had also highlighted GGR as the designer of the day on my site, and somebody I had people posting their finishes for GGR, and somebody posted the Biedermeier sampler, and this is I have another Biedermeier sampler. This is the second, completely different sampler, but this is so magnificent in person that I did order the chart. It's stunning. Stunning. And didn't open this yet. Didn't look at the quality of the... It's just a lot of pages. individual pages, like BG 1874, but I don't know when I'm going to get to it. What else did I order? I ordered more Threadworks. This is, there's no name on it. They just have numbers, but 11051 and 10420. And I believe I ordered this. I don't know why I ordered these. Go figure. What did I order these for? Well, I ordered these and who knows why. A red and a gold. I'll have to figure out. So now I have 4. I'm going to have to keep my Threadworks separate. I'm in love with Threadworks. Also, I got some blacks. I did get these from 123 Stitch. Blacks have been a problem. DMC 310 is on back order. Nobody has it, so everybody's been ordering blacks. So I ordered just an Onyx, a Raven, which of course I've had, and I already have, and mascara, just to have on hand before these run out too. I'm low on black in my stash. This one's Onyx. As you can see, it's got some gray in it. The middle one is Raven, which has got the green in it. And mascara is a black one. Does look like mascara. So I did order this. Okay. One more thing in here. Got pieces. I did order. I cannot wait. Oh, there's one more Threadworks, a green. Goodness gracious, I have no idea why I ordered that. I must have ordered it for something, so now I gotta figure out what I ordered it for. Is a stamp called Humbug. And this is not good. It came just as this little itty bitty stamp. How do you use it? Is this like a cartridge that goes in something? Oh no. I ordered the black ink pad too, but of course I ordered a stamper that said Humbug. It looks like it's got like a tape on it, so I guess you put it on something? Huh. I gotta research that. That seems cheap. I would have rather had a wood block. By Diane Coel, so I'm just gonna find out. But I love this. Humbug. Humbug stamp. All right. Next, let me put these away. I gotta put my fabric away. Next, these are from Lucy Beam. Could not resist. Aren't these great? Another one, fabric. These are bags. Love them. Got these. I think I'm going to do a giveaway with some of these bags because I don't know why I buy them. I fall in love with them and then I'm like... And then these are the lot. These sort of came along with a bunch of floss. So there are some great designs in here, some of which I'll probably never do. So I'm thinking of having a little de-stash on my page. I don't know. I'm going to have to go through these. But this is Sheepish Designs and Virtue Prize. Pretty, right? I think I'm going to keep that one. It's sort of a Christmas one, so. This is Stitches in the Heartland, Mr. Sandman. I sort of liked that on the blue linen. Nice, huh? I mean, I did pick these out. The Ann Carter sampler, Samplers Through Time, super rare because these are all out of print. Pretty, right? I'm definitely going to have to list some of these for sale. I'll never get to them. This is the Brown House sampler by, it says The Middle Row. I thought this was beautiful. Look at the border. I've never seen it. Yeah, there's something about this one I like. So this is a keep. Christmas is a keep. Those are not. Then they had a bunch of these little, these are all by Blackbird Design, the little mini stockings. Will I ever get to these? Probably not. I'll put these in the sell pile. Okay. Hester's Needle, definitely out of print, sampler number 2. The border is magnificent. This is a keep. Isn't that pretty? Just beautiful. This is Harvest Littles by Hollis Designs. Has to be out of print. I never heard of this, but these are so cute. Look at the tail. I think they call that stump work on the tail. That's a keep. A Tasket by Needlework Press. These go in little tins. Very, very nice. Will I get to them? Probably not, so I'm going to put this in the sell pile. Like I said, she kept going through them, and I'm like, oh, okay, put that in there. I didn't even know what I was looking at. I could barely see it. It was on a instant messenger, and I ended up with a lot of charts, more than I could ever use. This is by Donna Vermillion Gampa, called the New England Sampler. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful, right? Lovely, beautiful border. I'll never get to it though. It's in the sell pile. Milady's Needle, she had one of these. I've always wanted to do this Quaker's Rule, so it's got the little, actual ruler with it. And this is the pattern. I've always wanted to do one of these. She has a whole bunch of these, a Halloween one, I think other holidays, but that's a keep. This is the Village Pine by Blue Whale Designs. I love the little houses. Pretty, right? This is Hearts and Stripes, also by Blue Whale Designs. Nice, right? This is A Fish Story by Blue Whale Designs. This one I'm definitely keeping because we're fisher people here. I love it. Isn't that cute? I don't know if Blue Whale is out of print. I suspect they are. This is Phoebe's Forest by the City Stitcher. Designs by Janet Miller. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Isn't that great? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What I'm keeping. This is the Cricket Collection, Home and Heart. I love this too. It's got the seagulls. I thought this is so creative. I love it. There's also another one on the back, this little guy, the Paddington Bear, but this is the one I like. So some of these I knew I liked, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll take that. Even if I never do them, I'll do them. I'll do them. Got a whole life ahead of me. I'll do them. And this is the Cricket Collection Keepsakes 2. These are a bunch of little ornaments. Cool, right? The Cricket Collection, The Old and the New. This is a sampler, a Red House sampler. Very, very pretty. Love the fabric it's done on. Very nice. There's a second Is there a second sampler? No, it just they show you where only a portion of the sampler's done. That's pretty too. The sun shines happy on a happy home. Very, very cute. Pin Cushions Aplenty by Sandra Sullivan. I thought these were quite nice, these little pin cushions. And I have a number of pin cushion things by Sudbury that these would be perfect for. I think they'd actually fit. Let me see what she did them on. Oh, she's got so much information on these. It's like, whoa. Finishing instructions, everything. Week's anchor. No, she didn't say. Okay. Handwork. I think these are out of print. These are sampler ornaments, Quaker motifs. And there's two of them. Okay. Christmas Treasures by Nantucket Designs has to be out of print. Really nice designs though. As contemporary as anything you'd see. Lovely, right? Another one, this is Pennsylvania Dutch. I mean, very beautiful. Look at those designs. Not so much that one, but these. Aren't they pretty? I thought these were lovely. Another one, the Friendship Sampler. Just beautiful. Heart and Home Sampler by The Needle's Praise. Virtue Outshines the Stars by The Needle's Praise. Just a beautiful sampler. Permit of Copenhagen Antique Sampler. Just doesn't say the name of it. It just says Antique Sampler. Oh, Cell 1808. There you go. Cell 1808. This is by Samplers and Such. It's got to be out of print. Then we've got the Scarlet Letters, these are new. The Scarlet Letters Christmas Sampler, now out of print. I'll never get to it. I bought this and I'm looking at it and I'll never get to it. So I'm going to put this one in the cell page. Dora Sanger Sampler. Also by Scarlet Letter. I looked these up, they're all out of print. Doesn't have them on our website anymore. This is Jeanette Clapp. I love this sampler. I love everything about it. I love the border. This one I'm saving, but look at the house. Look at the border. Look at the houses on the bottom. Unbelievably beautiful. Yeah, this one's in my keep. This one's also, I think, in my keep pile. The Margaret Gamble sampler. Maybe, maybe not, but look at that. Scarlet Letter is beautiful stuff. And one more by Sheepish Designs, Kind and True. All right, so I have some to sell. I did order one more, which got stuck in here. Had to order it. Had to. This is by Mountain Air Designs. It's got to be new because Mountain Air Fabrics is fairly new. There's no date about when this came out, but I'm assuming this year. And it says, "For it is good to be children sometimes, and never better than at Christmas, when its mighty founder was a child himself," Charles Dickens. How could I not get this? I mean, that's crazy. How could I not get that? Oh, Too much, too much. So I'm going to sell some of that because it's too much stash for me. Too crazy. All right. I want to read from Dickens, and then I'm going to pull out another Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. This is getting too long. Sorry, guys. Let me get my Dickens book out. This is still under Marley's Ghost. I'm only going to read a little bit because we've got to cut this short. Although Scrooge had always liked the darkness now, as he entered his apartment, it made him remember Marley's face in the knocker. He walked nervously from room to room, first with his candle held high, then poking it into corners and under furniture. Nobody was under the table. Nobody was under the sofa. Nobody was under the bed. Nobody was in the closet. Scrooge even looked inside his dressing gown as it hung on a hook on the wall. But nobody was inside it either. A small fire was in the grate. A little pot of broth was warming on the fireplace ledge. Satisfied that he was alone, Scrooge closed and locked his door, which he didn't normally do. Then, taking off his coat and jacket and putting on his dressing gown, slippers, and nightcap, Scrooge sat down before the fire to eat his broth. The fire was low, very low for such a bitter night, and Scrooge moved closer to get every bit of warmth from it. He looked at the familiar tiles set into the fireplace around the hearth. He remembered remarking to himself when he had first moved in that the fireplace must have been built by a Dutchman years ago, for the tiles were old Dutch scenes illustrating the Bible. And now these scenes were suddenly gone, and in their place appeared the shape of old Marley's head, staring out at Scrooge from each smooth tile. "Humbug!" cried Scrooge angrily as he jumped up and strode across the room. Here's a picture of Scrooge staring at the fireplace tiles. I'd like one of those fireplace tiles. After a few minutes of pacing, Scrooge returned to the fireside and sat down again. As he leaned his head back against the chair, his eyes were raised and his glance came to rest on a bell. It was a bell that had always been in the room, a bell that hung there unused. It was the doorbell. Now suddenly the long silent bell began to swing. Scrooge stared, first with astonishment, then with terror. At first the bell swung softly, barely making a sound, but soon it rang out loudly and was followed, almost in a chorus, by every bell in the house. The ringing may have lasted a minute, but to Scrooge it seemed like an hour. Then suddenly the bell stopped. Just as Scrooge was about to catch his breath, a new sound gripped his heart, a clanking noise from deep down below, as if somebody were dragging a heavy chain over the wine casks stored in the basement. With a shudder, Scrooge recalled having heard that ghosts in haunted houses drag chains and that. At this moment, Scrooge heard the cellar door fly open with a bang. It was followed by the sound of the dragging chain coming up the stairs, up, and closer to the door. "It's humbug!" cried Scrooge. "I won't believe it." But no sooner were the angry words out of his mouth than his face went white. His eyes popped and his jaw dropped open in amazement. For coming through the heavily locked door was Jacob Marley, or rather his ghost. Ooh. So Scrooge is about to get a visit from Jacob Marley, the first ghost. And so the story goes. Next one more thing. I posted this morning on the page asking anybody if they had a suggestion or a question for our page. And somebody did say, I want to know how to get wrinkles out of a finished piece before an FFO. I stitch in hand, and even my fancy Rowenta can't get the linen flat. Two ways you can try. One is on the back. Turn this over. Okay, don't ever spray anything on your actual stitches. You want to do it on the back. Spray it with a fine mist of water and steam it a little bit. If that doesn't work, use starch. Spray starch works perfectly well, and it doesn't harm the fabric. And then it says, I don't think anybody asked anything else. That's it. Okay. So let's go to Punch, Needle, and Primitive Stitcher. This is 2019 fall issue. I've probably showed it to you, but we have new viewers. We'll show it to you again. And then I have one more thing to say after this, and we'll be done. This is Salem, Mass by Joyce Reed Folk Art. Would go wonderful on my old sampler linen or my coffee with cream linen. Isn't that pretty? This is Eye of Newt by Nicole Franklin of Kinnickies. Eye of Newt. And she does it on Smashing Jack linen by Dames of the Needle. She used to make her own linen, but she doesn't anymore. Or she hasn't in a while. Next is No Good for Man or Beast by Stephanie Webb. So this is last year's Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, by the way. This year's I have not received yet. Hopefully soon. And then this is Enter If You Dare by Isabella Abbiati, the Primitive Hare. This is done on Dark Spell, which I showed you on my last video, which the cross-stitch cupboard has a few pieces of. Nice, right? This is Autumn Bounty by Barbara Anna. This is Tradition from Ancestors by Twin Peak Primitives. It's quite nice. It's not really that prim, but it doesn't matter. It's beautiful. Nothing not to like about this. Interesting that this is done by somebody that's Dutch, and the designers from Europe seem to do more American holidays than the American designers do. Because clearly Holland does not celebrate Thanksgiving. This is the Jacko Pincushion by Lucy Beam. Okay. This is Pumpkin Bird and Tulip by Teresa's Primitive Treasures. Nice, right? This is Harvest Blessings by Joyce Reed Folk Art. Once again, this is my grunge linen, easily. What linen did she use? It just said linen of choice. And she dyed it with coffee and vanilla extract. Is that it? Anything else? They have the Creative Twist by Vanna, and this is her. This is her her project. That looks like Pineberry Lane. I'm not sure. Isn't that pretty? Gorgeous finishing. And that's it. All right, so my last thing. Don't wait to call somebody. I heard last year, I don't know about last year, but at least 6 months ago, that my cousin, who is my age, in fact, she's 6 months younger than me. I think she's either 53 or 54. I forgot when her birthday is. But my cousin, who I grew up with, I've known since I can remember. I remember playing with her at 3 years old. I remember having sleepovers. We used to read those Archie comics she loved. Went to college with her. We were in each other's bridal party way back when. We got together every year for the holidays. We sort of drifted apart over the last few years for various reasons. None of which are good reasons, but we did. And it is as much her fault as mine, I think, because she didn't call me either. But I heard she got really sick 6 months ago with a bad cancer. I didn't call her. I kept thinking, well, after not calling her for a year or so, what am I going to call her? You know, hey, I heard you had cancer, so now I'm going to call you. I felt so uncomfortable that I procrastinated calling her. And then COVID came around, and I sort of forgot about it. And anyway, I got a call from my brother Friday, so it's 2 days ago, that she's at that point where they're not going to do any more treatment and just keep her comfortable. And I called my uncle then, and he did not answer the phone. I left a message. I called their house, and I left a message. They didn't call me back, but obviously they have other things on their mind. I don't blame them. But I may never see her again. Probably will never see her again. Don't do this. Don't wait until it's too late. You always assume somebody, especially a young person, is going to be there. You never think they could die. And now, I'll never see her again. I just know it. And I'm praying for her. I have everybody praying for her, but it's not. The prayers now are for her to be comfortable, not looking for a miracle, because that's not going to happen. I just want her family to have peace. She has 4 kids. It's funny, I have twins, and she has twins, and she has 2 sets of twins, actually. Twin boys and twin girls, and they're in their 20s, just like my kids are. And one of them has a kid, so she does have a grandkid. But I'm going to miss you. Just my word of the day, my advice of the day is call your loved ones. If you hear they have an issue, call them. Don't feel embarrassed. Call them. Let them hear your voice, and that you hear their voice. And that's it. Don't be embarrassed. I did call. I left a message. Hopefully they call me back. I would like to go over there and see her. If she'll see me, or if she's up to it, I don't actually know. But I think at this point she is not at the visitor stage, so we'll see. Anyway, on a better note, I want everybody to have a great week. And keep stitching. If you like the videos, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like them, the thumbs down make me really feel bad. I actually take them to heart. I'm a very sensitive person. So if you want to give me a thumbs down, I forgive you. Maybe you're a person that, for whatever reason, doesn't like what I said, but that's okay. Or doesn't like my presentation or my style, but that's okay. I guess I should get a bigger backbone, especially since this is only a hobby. Who cares if somebody gives me a thumbs down? If you really like the videos, then please subscribe. I am going to do a great giveaway. Now, I told you all the giveaways are on my Facebook group page, The Vintage Cross Stitch Niche, and the reason is I cannot reach people on Facebook on YouTube to let them know that they are winners. I don't have enough people that keep checking, and then it's not good for me. I need to get to the winner right away. Once I reach 2,000 on here, I am going to have a unbelievably good giveaway. I have a lot of stuff and a lot of stash, which I want to share with others. I really don't mind. I don't give away gifts from other people in general. If I do, it's a giveaway like rack, like I'll post it on the page. But an actual giveaway, that's something that I have purchased, which means that I love it, and often I'll match it up with linen, which is something I love to do, or make a piece of linen. So I'm looking forward to that number have a great week, guys. Hope this wasn't too long, and till next time, bye-bye. Keep stitching.